All right, welcome back to the channel, and I mean it this time. Wow. Ryan Garcia proves Gervonta Davis right about something he said and reveals a pre-fight conversation that took place between he and Al Haymon. Where I come from, they call that dry snitching. Man, Ryan Garcia is a wild boy, man. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back, welcome back. Look, all I can say about these type of subjects is it is January in boxing and we're in the middle of a pandemic. So what you're supposed to do, you got to talk about the things you like to talk about. I am a big boxing fan. So, hey, man, I hear something come across my desk or not I guess across my desk, right? In an internet sense of way, sort of way. So I hear that Ryan Garcia talking about how he spoke with Al Haymon before his fight with Luke Cambell. If you don't recall, just last weekend, Ryan Garcia fought Luke Cambell and won, I think, an interim WBC belt. And after the fight was over, he called out Gervonta Tank Davis. He said, he called him out a bunch of times. And he called him out kind of reckless. Like one time he said, not reckless in a, but reckless in a kind of silly way. But said, hey, man, not like I don't think, like it came out like I don't think anybody takes it serious. Not that he couldn't win a fight, but just, come on, Ryan. When he says stuff like, your legacy will be in doubt if you do not fight me. Gervonta Davis responded to that and said, man, come on, dog. You know who you talked to before the fight. Like, come on, man. Why are you fronting? Why are you out here acting like, oh, like you have to convince me to fight? You do not have to convince me to fight, right? Now, again, for this whole time that I've been talking about Ryan Garcia, I have not been talking about clout chasing, right? Because I don't think he's necessarily clout chasing any more than anybody else is doing with Gervonta Davis, and I'm trying my absolute best to be positive. But Tank did respond in the correct fashion, and now that Ryan Garcia said something, we now can put two and two together and know exactly what it was that Gervonta Tank Davis was talking about, man. So, like I said in the intro, I don't know if it's dry snitching, but, because it's nothing wrong with one manager calling another manager. But at the same time, man, it's like you acted like the conversation did not take place at all. And then only after Gervonta Davis implied, did you make it look like, yes, man, I'm a big man. Al Haymon called me before the. All right, man, because it does look good that Al Haymon called him, right? It's Al Haymon. How does that not make you look good? Very few people have conversations with the man at all. And it does tell you that Gervonta Tank Davis is interested in the fight because, again, why would Al Haymon be calling you before the fight if it was not to at least let you know what? That he's watching the fight. And why would he be watching the fight? Most managers, especially, can't even say most managers when you talk about Al Haymon. You just got to say the guy that runs the biggest promotional company in the world. That he is probably watching that fight because you're a boxer and he might have a big old mega fight to make. Like, some of the other really gigantic fights that have been made by the PBC. Although, pause the subject for 1 second or just for 1 second. Al Haymon is not a promoter. Got to make sure we understand this because people are going to come to the chat to the chat and to the comment section and they're going to say, hey, well, that Al can't be calling Ryan Garcia. That's some violation. Hey, look, man, there's supposed to be a wall between a promoter and a manager. Okay, the promoter cannot tell fighters what managers they can talk to. You know what I mean? As long as it's not a promoter that's trying to interfere and get another promotional contract with him, I don't believe, from what I can see, that there would be any issue other than that. So when I'm saying that that's dry snitching, I don't mean dry snitching like He like Al Haymon's doing anything underhanded. I can't imagine that he would. Dude is very, very official type of cat. So, but he did also snitch on himself, which Ryan, and that being Ryan Garcia, snitch on himself and prove what Gervonta Davis said was true. So is Ryan stunting? Is he stunting? And does this mean that he doesn't want the fight? I don't know. I think he really does want the fight, right? But I do hear his camp, and I have to believe that his camp, because it is that level of a camp. If you look at the people in his camp, you have Oscar De La Hoya, you have Bernard Hopkins, you have Eddie Reynoso. Canelo Alvarez trains in the same gym with him or trains with the same trainer as he does. These people have to know what is very, very obvious to almost everybody else around here, man, that is not a fight for Ryan Garcia, that Ryan Garcia is a more than 30% chance of winning, which means, and so that is not totally discounting, because I don't discount Ryan Garcia in that fight. Not completely, right? I think it's a better fight for sure. Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis is for sure a better fight than Callum Smith versus Canelo Alvarez. Because some of the things that people say about Callum Smith, if you look at the situation is with Ryan Garcia and Tank. Ryan Garcia is very long, but he's fast and he can crack. And he's not going to be the type of guy that you can sit there and just continually punch on the arm, like the situation that the Canelo was in. So I'm not going to completely discount the idea that Ryan Garcia could win the fight. He definitely has the ability to catch you on the top of the head. He could trust in his power. But the problem where he's trusting in his power is that he's trusting in his power against a guy that is just as powerful as he is. So he might be thinking about his length, because he's like 5'10". He does have tremendous hand speed, but he doesn't have tremendous foot speed. So I'm wondering to myself, why would those guys want it? Now, Bernard Hopkins, who probably, not even probably, is the most accomplished person at Golden Boy, Canelo Alvarez included, and a better fighter than Canelo Alvarez, and that is just saying how great Bernard Hopkins is, and not how bad nothing bad about Canelo. Which, by the way, I got to take a second in this video to say, it is completely possible for me to acknowledge that Bernard Hopkins is a great fighter, knows much more about the sport of boxing than I do, and for me to still disagree with him. That is possible. And you know why I say that is possible? Because every time I bet on a boxing match, and I don't do it all the time, but I always do it when I'm going to win. Like I'm pretty sure I'm going to win. I know that Bernard Hopkins has picked some other people several times. So unless he's just leading me by the nose with who he said he thought he was going to win certain fights, his knowledge is not infallible. Okay? He's just an expert with great standing and for sure should be taken seriously. There's going to be nothing coming out of Bernard Hopkins' mouth about the sport of boxing that I'm not going to take seriously, unless he says something that just on its face should not be taken seriously. Like, I have not heard him say anything about them gloves flapping like this in the wind, and Bernard be like, oh, no, that's how gloves work. No, I've never heard him say that. He stayed away from it, that as far as I know. But see, if he started saying things, then I might say something about what Bernard Hopkins said. And then, even then, I would be respectful of Bernard Hopkins, because first of all, Bernard Hopkins is my senior. Bernard Hopkins is a legendary champion. And I am a boxing fan, and I will always be respectful of the great champions, even if they're disrespectful of me, to the degree that I can be. It just is what it is. But at the end of the day, I think Bernard Hopkins, because he said it, has more faith in Tank and in Ryan Garcia, and is saying, look, Ryan, go for it. go for Tank right now. This is your shining moment. He may think, yeah, man, this is the biggest payday you may get, man. Get that Tank fight, dog, because you don't want to mess around and get beat by Nakatani. You don't want to mess around and get beat by Nakatani or somebody like that, man. Get your money, get the major fight, huge payday, get it in the bank. If you make it 12 rounds, man, people are going to call you a warrior. You're going to make a lot of money, right? But that would be the perspective of just saying, yeah, Ryan, I don't think you're going to win. And this is kind of where I am. Ryan, I don't think you're going to win, but dang it, I really respect that you're going to take the fight. That type of thing. And after you lose, you may, you may win. Like I said, 30% chance you may win. You may, but you will, if you do lose, dude, you're going to come out of there learning and you're going to be a better fighter, man. Similar to what Bernard Hopkins did when he early in his career went on ahead and fought Roy Jones. He lost, but it didn't taint his career. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.